it's a big and important question. And if we have more time, I would love to do it as a role play, but since we have just 1 minute, I'll just respond briefly. In NVC, we understand violence as a tragic response to unmet needs. It's a tragic resort that the person feels that, oh, my needs are so vulnerable, and the only way I know, based on what's alive in my nervous system and my cultural conditioning and models, is to act out in this way. But in a sense, it's like Dominique Barter, who started these restorative justice circles all over the world. He says violence is actually feedback. It's feedback about something that's not working in the system. So we can take it as feedback about needs that are not being met and go straight to that. So I'll give you a small example. I was sitting just outside my house on the deck with a friend in the evening. We were speaking at a volume about like this. And all of a sudden, my neighbor comes running up the stairs from downstairs and he says, either you tone it down or I'm going to take you down.
I like your neighbor.
Very uninhibited. So there's a bit of violence for you, big threat, big clear threat. No hello, just that's jumping into it. And then I was a bit confused. I was like, oh, you heard us downstairs? So basically he's throwing, I'm just going into catching, right? Like the Aikido master. He's coming at me. I'm finding, how do I join with his energy and find the way to minimize the damage? Hear the way you move the chairs. And he said, and I said, oh, okay, you heard the chairs. And yeah. And my parents don't understand. His parents are my landlords who live next door. And I said, oh, they don't understand. And that pisses you off, something like that. And he said, yeah. And I said, well, thank you so much for telling me that it's making noise, because I really want to be considerate and I want to support the quiet. And, it's just like and there were probably like 3 or 4 or 5 things that he said. And I just reflected to give him the sense of, yes, I understand, I hear you, but not by saying I hear you, but actually telling him what I hear so it can land and he can trust, oh, I get what's important to him. And just in my authenticity, oh, I didn't realize that was disturbing. I actually do want to support the quiet so she can put the baby to sleep. And then within 2 minutes of just responding in that way, it was like each time I responded, his volume went down a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. And then he just said, thank you. And he went downstairs. And that was it. So what basically happened, he was in fight mode because he was perceiving a threat. And what I did was meet him in a way to show him, I am no threat. And what's vulnerable and important to you, I'm holding that with care. And then automatically the nervous system will downregulate because there's no threat. And that only comes online when threat is being perceived. So that's the very brief response to your question, John.